So welcome back to MathT UK, and before we continue with the walk itself, let's see if I can just shed a little bit of light on Hadrian's Wall for you. Some of the facts you may not know. I found them quite interesting. Let's see if you do too. Firstly, Hadrian's Wall. What's it all about? When was it built? 122 AD. Emperor Hadrian came to the UK, decided that was enough. We're going to build a wall here. But why did he build it? What was the purpose of the wall? Was it purely and simply to keep the Scots out and keep the Britons in? No. No, it wasn't. Reason being, there was no such thing as Scottish, no such thing as English at the time. In fact, if you stand on the wall and you look south, what you will see is England. And if you turn around 180 degrees and you look north, what you see is England. Hadrian's Wall is not built on the Scottish border because at the time Scotland didn't exist. It was very tribal, and although they were northern tribes and southern tribes, they still talked to each other and they still caused the Romans a hell of a lot of problems. There was two walls, 20 years after Hadrian's Wall. Emperor Antinon, or Antononi, or whichever you want to pronounce it, he built a wall further on called the Antinon Wall. That failed miserably, purely and simply because they were getting attacked from both sides. It wasn't really a suitable way of controlling anybody. It was too much hassle, too much bother. So eventually the Antinon Wall was removed. They came away from it. They did try and get back to it later on, but it was a waste of time. They moved back to Hadrian's Wall, rebuilt that, made that more substantial, but this time, instead of it being a fortification to try and stop the masses advancing down from the north, not that they would. Why would they? They didn't want hassling, they wanted to be left alone to live their life in freedom. Can't say as I blame them personally. But on the reverse or south side of the wall, there's things called like the vallum ditches. These were defences against attacking from the south. So they were never ever left alone. Was this war purely military might? No, I say not, no. It's my opinion, of course, but I'm more likely to believe that this wall was a show of force. This is what we can do. We are the Roman Empire. We can do this. And we're going to tax you. And we're going to control you. And one of the things the wall was very good at was stopping anyone from the south moving north and stopping anyone from the north moving south. It controlled taxes and passages through the country. And I think, me personally, that was the reason for the wall. Look at us, we are Rome, look what we've built. By the way, if you want to come through, give me some money. That's my opinion. Because tactically, if you're being attacked from the north and the south, you're not in a very good position. And it's not a good place to be. So there must have been other reasons for the wall to be there in the first place. And I think that's probably somewhat like it. Oh, and by the way, before we do start, there was a first attempt at control of the northern hordes, or not barbarians, it's not fair to say barbarians. Who was the barbarian really? Northern tribes. On the east coast of Scotland, up through the glens, there used to be a series of watchtowers up there as well, long before either wall was built. And that was the first attempt to try and subdue, control and taxate the people from the northern tribes. But that's another story. In the meantime, let's move on with mine, Dave's and Andy's. And let's move on to our Hadrian's Wall walk. Why did we do it? It's something that I've always wanted to do. It's something that's been in my blood ever since I knew the Romans existed. And this time I eventually get to do it. We do 3 nights under canvas and 3 nights in hotels or bunkhouses, whichever you want to call it. I placed out 2 stashes 2 weeks ago. I'll show you a little clip about the stashes later. And one of the important things I must mention, that there is a serious lack of footage on this video. Why? Well, because when you give yourself a distance to walk on Hadrian's Wall, it takes all your time. And if you've underestimated how long you're going to take to get to that location, it really does reduce your filming time. So most of the things that you will see will be pictures and only short videos when we stop. That's it. If you want to come and see the wall, you're going to have to see that bit yourself, but I'll do what I can to give you some sort of video as we go along. But I promise you there is not a lot of footage. Pure and simply, it was just too much effort and too little time to do it. And when I come to that later on today, or near the end of the video, I'll explain what I feel, if I was to do this again, would be the best way to do Hadrian's Wall, to give you, one, the most time on some of the most scenic things that there are, and it is fantastic, but also not kill your feet, not kill your legs, and give you a decent holiday to boot. So stay watching. I'm not going to tell you when it is because you'll just skip to the end of the video, and there will be a bit about the best way to complete Hadrian's Wall, in my opinion, and Dave and Andy's, by the way, as well. Until then, let's move on. Let's start the walk. And thank you for joining me. Nice hat, Andy. Where'd you get that?
Thanks. I got it from your favourite shop.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's a stupid hat. You look right, idiot.
Yeah.
This is a hat.
You wouldn't want to look an idiot, would you, Dave?
This is what you're supposed to wear.
It is indeed.
When in Rome.
When in Rome.
You look a wally.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Doesn't he look out of place?
Yeah, out of place.
Anyway, in the meantime, we've got to get our packs on. These two are already keen to go. We've got to get our card stamped here, and then we're off. 85 mile plus 5 at the moment. So, we'll see you shortly. We'll see you along the route.
Miles.
6.46 miles. Well, and we've had our first stop so far. We've seen a couple people doing it. Looks like a couple more coming now. But yeah, it's flat as the proverbial witches. And obviously the lads are just catching up. They've been off their phones for 10 minutes, so they need to catch up to see who's liked their Facebook things. Or nobody liked yours? No. You haven't done one, no. What about you, Dave? Anybody liked yours, or?
Yeah, all your
Hiya.
fan base.
You what?
All your fan base.
I don't have a. Yeah, it's dwindling, mate. Dwindling.
Not famous like you two.
Yeah. So the terrain so far has been. It's just flat, but it's been through fields, a couple of small diversions through fields. It's very easy going, to be fair, but our packs are quite heavy. £34, maybe £36 I've got. Probably the other two lads have got the same in. And at the end of the day, there's only a certain amount of minimum you can carry, and mine equates to £36. So it is what it is. So a water stop, a couple of sweeties, and then we'll crack on. Hey, what's wrong with you? Cheers. We are.
Good health.
We are 9 miles into our walk, and we've accidentally come across the Greyhound pub. We've got 6 miles to go, and we've got loads of time to do it. So I think we've been averaging about 3 miles an hour, which is really good.
Between us.
Yeah, it's between us. So it's not too bad.
3 pints an hour now.
3 pints an hour, which isn't too bad at all. But yeah, we've it's all right, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's a nice little steady away walk. I am struggling with my feet, but I was always going to. But it's only day one. I'm 9 miles in and I'm already moaning about my feet. That's not good, is it?
First day's the fun day.
Yeah, this is the fun day.
Feel good day.
Feel good day. I think I
on the
classed
first
it.
day,
Yeah.
apparently.
Apparently, no, you do. You have a little bit of pain, a little bit of pain. It's
Muscle memory
like
today.
one pain there, and the other pain is there. Look, but
We're a constant pain.
yes, absolutely. Yeah. So anyway, first pub, first real stop.
And I think we've already made a rule now. We're not going to pass a pub, are we?
No,
Without
no.
using the facilities.
This is actually a pub crawl, Hadrian's Wall pub crawl. I might even call it that.
Hadrian's
Wall
crawl.
crawl.
Hadrian's crawl.
Yes, Hadrian's wall crawl. We're acting like we're
Crawl.
pissed already, don't we?
All it takes one.
We've only had a sniff of a beer and we're already gone. So yeah,
Can't take them anywhere.
really good at the moment. No, you haven't seen anything of the countryside because you've probably seen it in other videos. This is a totally different video. So this is not about countryside and how pretty the wall looks. This is about how stupid we are and how many beers we can get and whilst we do it. Yeah, so first stop,
Leave me alone.
3 pints in, scampi fries, traditional pub food.
And we've got a short 5 mile walk now.
It's 6.
Six
You keep
miles.
saying 5, but it's 6. 6 to go, and then into Carlisle, and then we'll start all over again. Rule of 3 again.
Yeah, rule of 3.
Yeah. 3, 6, 9. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, there is a lovely statue over there, but I can't really be bothered to show you. To be fair.
You can as well walk in past.
Yeah.
This is not a history channel.
No, it's not. No. So there's our little statue. That's King Eddie. I think that's who that's supposed to be. And we were at the Greyhound, and we're ready for our final segment of the day, which is a little bit of a 6 mile finish, and then
I'd
we're
recommend the Greyhound Pub to anyone that does this walk.
yes,
Absolutely fabulous.
yeah. I think they should incorporate the rule of 3. I think it's a really good
The rule of 3 and no greyhounds.
yeah. So let's figure out where we're going, because I don't know. I've had too much to
way.
drink already. That way, so it's down that way. Onwards and upwards.
We're all on.
Well, we made it to our second or third stamp location, but it is closed. But we are at the probably one of the most filmed parts of the Hadrian's Wall, which is this monument here, showing our start point, Drumburg, Burnham Sands, Stanwick and Carlisle, which is where we are right now. So this is the monument that everybody films. And to be perfectly frank, I'm no different.
He's not interested. Cheese.
Cheese. It's good to see that the graffiti artists have
Not bothered.
shown their skill.
Well, it's Baz, that.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Baz
Well,
brush.
tosses, aren't they? Eh?
Very abstract.
But there we go.
Could have done it down there.
Let's wait for Landrew to come back. 'cause
Lanshank 1 to Lanshank 2.
Bon appetit, Andy. Bon appetit, David.
Bon. Well, I don't only complain about money, but this is extortion.
Actually, he does complain about money.
£26 for 3 drinks.
Yeah.
I don't like wine.
Double lines.
3 double lines.
Unbelievable.
Anyway,
16 miles of had my pants full now. Cheers. Cheers for going fishing.
so today we've done our first leg. We have done 16 miles as opposed to the 15 that was advertised. There was a couple of diversions. Was it 17 we did? So we did a little bit longer than we initially planned, but there you go, that's the way it is.
Why did we do an extra 2 miles?
One, because we went the wrong way for half a mile, and the second one is purely and simply because of the diversions that are currently in place. That's why we did it.
Makes it sound like it wasn't his
No, we
fault.
never got lost. When you're lost, you don't know where you are, what you're doing, what's going on.
We were lost.
We got topographically embarrassed for a short period of time. That's a totally different thing.
Anyway, we got here.
Yeah, so we have eaten. We've had a 3-course meal each.
We had 3 courses at lunch.
Yeah, it was.
Rule of 3.
Yeah, rule of 3. Yeah, we had 3 pints at dinner time. So we had about 6 miles to go, didn't we? And that was a long 6 mile one.
It was a very long 6 miles.
It turned out to be more like 7 or 8, I think.
Well, we stopped at 9, didn't we?
Yeah. So.
And if we did 17.
Yeah.
Nearly halfway, if my maths is wrong.
But there isn't a lot. Well, there is no footage of the way. There's a few pictures that we'll put up in front of you now.
You weren't recording, we weren't even talking to each
No,
other.
the reason being, the last part of the walk heading into Carlisle from Bowness is quite nice, isn't it? It's quite similar to talking trail. You know, it's up and down in woods next to the river. It's very similar to that, but it's not the thing that you actually want when you're feeling it. At the end of the day, you don't really want it, do you? But you got it. So little tiny undulations, but there is no footage of it. If I can find some pictures of it, I'll put them on, but it won't be.
How are you feeling going into day 2?
I'm fine.
How are you feeling going into day 2?
Going into day 2.
Yeah, I'm going into day 2.
Yeah, obviously.
We're all aching. I'm knackered.
I would expect to have the pains that I've got, to be fair. I would expect to have what I've got, so I'm not surprised about it. But it's, I mean, I know I'm carrying £36. You're probably, can't be too far off. You can't be too far off the same.
What I know.
Yeah, you don't got so much money in his wallet now. As you can see, Dave don't like spending money on beer.
Do I?
Squeaky.
Yeah.
Toit. Keep everything tight.
Not saying he's really tight, but he's squeaky like that.
So we'll have a couple more beers and then we're going to knock it on the head for tonight. It was actually quite good. Yeah.
Somebody said I'm not funny. That's a practice catch.
Apart from that, that's it. We're going to knock it on the head and we'll hopefully the weather will be good for us tomorrow and we will do another 15, 18
we're in breakfast at, do you like 7:45? Having a nice brekkie.
No, much later.
It's 9:45.
We're in breakfast at 10:15, sorry, so we get a lie in.
You've been pleased with that though, because you bought a dinner, so save a few quid.
Yeah.
Saving money, yeah.
And straight up to Banks and then pick up the first stash before we head into Banks.
Yeah.
So, should be a good day tomorrow. Hopefully get the camera out if I'm feeling up to it. So I'm just waiting for Andy and Dave to come down before we start our second phase. Another 15 mile today. 15, 16 miles. It's that was a long run.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's done about 15, 16 miles today. We're off to Banks today. There's no bar at Banks. So what I've done is I've put a stash just short of Banks and I've hidden it. And I came up last week and hid it. So I'm just hoping that when I get there, it's still there. Otherwise, it's a very sober evening. Here we are, 1 week. Look, there's the boss. There she is, just walking out of shot now. 1 week before we're actually at this location doing the Hadrian's Wall walk. So I've got my stash, and I'm going to hide my stash for next week. Stash number 1. But yeah, it was a good night last night. We're all feeling it. It's a shock to the system to carry your own pack. Yeah, you can. Traffic. Yeah, you can get your gear moved from location to location, but we wanted to carry our gear. Whether we continue to do that or not, I don't know. The key is with this is the feet. If we have any problems, serious problems with the feet, then we're going to drop the kit and get that moved. But we're not going to not do it because of a couple of blisters. But let's just hope today we get more into the swing of things. Everyone's got sore shoulders. Everyone's got a little bit of a knot in the back. All that goes away after a bit of time. But yeah, let's push on. Let's get there. Just wait for the boys to come down now. I'm an early bird. I've been up since 6 anyhow. And well, see you en route. I'll try and get a little bit more of the route in today. But again, not a lot of water to see today. Pure and simply, it just isn't there. So anyway, catch you later. So the lads are just catching up. And why not indeed? So this part is just next to Carlisle Airport. It's like a long ditch, covered up. It's quite nice actually, quite a nice part of the walk, which is why I've decided to film it, because it's just nice. So after 30 miles of walking along Hadrian's Wall, we finally come to
Hadrian's Wall.
Dave. Yeah, absolutely, it's Dave.
Hello.
No, there is the very first part that you can physically see of the wall. And there you go. And there's the bank up behind it, but that's the first part that you can actually see, really. I mean, there's probably one or two echoes elsewhere, but that's the most prominent bit.
Echo.
So,
Echo.
echo. So we're just literally a few hundred meters away from our location for this evening. So I'm going to turn this camera off and we're going to get there. So we are beginning to lose the light on our first camping session. Beautiful sunset this evening. I've got my Wiki Up 3. Dave and Andy have the Force 10 Van Gogh Heliums. Very good little tent actually. The stash, the all-important stash that I've talked about a couple of times now. What did you have for your tea, Dave?
I had chili and rice, which was in the stash bag. Very, very nice. Washed down with just obviously one beer.
What selection of beers have we got there?
Well, what haven't we got?
Where are we first of all?
We are at Banks.
So we have Banks Bitter.
Yes, we're at Banks.
Now, obviously, we're a bit of a Italian stroke Roman.
Yeah, with Italian
Theme.
Andy. Yeah, Italian Andrew.
Yeah, there he is. And something a little bit special that we sent off for.
And then this one is beer aroma.
It's blonde beer aroma all the way.
Master.
From Carlisle.
All the way from Carlisle, yeah. I actually sent off for those 3 little beers. So did you enjoy your tea?
It was lovely.
Good, good.
Everything's perfect.
Fantastic.
apart
I'll
from
tell you
feet.
what, your stash bag was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was heavy.
You had to carry it, yeah. I had to retrieve it, you had to carry it, and you obviously packed it.
A small price to pay.
It's a team effort.
A small price to pay.
No, Math's done this one. It's been brilliant, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You would not get all this in a
No, we'd have been on
rucksack.
pot noodles, wouldn't we?
Imagine how heavy our kitload would have been with this lot in.
Yeah, there's plenty of Scooby snacks. There's some.
What's that?
Oh, you forgot to mention that one, Dave.
Oh yes, yeah.
He's trying to keep it for himself, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone likes a little bit of a fire.
We got some Scooby snacks. We've got some walnuts, peanuts, some giant Wotsits, some waffles, some beef jerky. So we're not going to be out without for a long evening.
Yeah. We need to be really, really quiet.
Yes, we do. We need to be really quiet. Andrew said. I don't know if you heard that because he was being quiet.
Yeah, we do.
Because we have some neighbours. There. The campsite we're staying at is very, very basic. There is there's a couple of little toilets. Haven't found a shower yet.
I think that might be one.
And there's some like open sinks, and it's only a £5 a night, so it is basic. But I knew that before I got here, so it's not a surprise to us. But the only thing I haven't seen is a bin. So what we're going to do with all this rubbish afterwards, I don't know. But there you go. Anyway, we are losing the light. I do have a night sight, and Dave's going to get that filter later so we can film in the dark. Ooh.
Oh yeah, stuff that I've been carrying.
Yeah, so we'll catch up with you when it's dark.
It's bright, huh?
Hello and welcome to Ghost Hunters Hadrian's Wall. And the first thing we would like to ask is, are there any spirits here? Yep. Quite a lot actually.
Cheers.
Cheers. Right, so You can't see the label in the dark, but this is the wine. No,
Beer of the week.
this is not the wine. This is the beer
That's
that
the Melbeck you asked for last night.
I specially brought in, and I'm going to open them up and we're going to give them a try live on camera. They're called Roma, aren't they? Roma. Blonde Roma. So it's got a picture of the Colosseum on it. Quite apt.
I haven't seen it. Who knows?
We're in Carlisle.
They can have a test in a minute. Yep, smells like
Tea Spirit.
and tastes like cheap lager. Actually, no, it's not. Actually, it's quite nice. So,
Thank you.
Dav,
You just knocked that owl out of the sky now.
It's very.
Thank you, Matthew.
What's the word?
I don't know. I mean, I've never drunk it before, so it is what it is. Anyway, gentlemen, cheers. Roman beer on a Roman wall.
Roman
Shite.
beer on a Roman
Shite.
wall. And we're actually on the wall, actually, aren't we?
Have you eaten enough today?
I've eaten loads.
What have you had?
Well, I've got
Yes.
orange fingers, so that dictates that I've had.
What did you open earlier? Some nuts, was it?
I've had my hand into all them puffs.
Did you have some nuts?
We've had walnuts,
Walnuts.
yeah, which we learned a lot
Hadrian's walnuts.
about. Hadrian's walnuts.
No, they
yeah.
were yours.
Well, all right, our walnuts.
I've used the compost bin, compost toilet for the first time.
Yes, he did. Yeah, missed. Didn't know what the brush was for. Took him 4 hours to clean his arse.
I didn't know the brush was for that.
Compost corner.
So don't you use toilet paper like everybody else? No, not really,
Yeah.
Dave.
Did it chafes, that brush?
It does, yeah. After about 3 hours of scrubbing, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the wire, isn't it?
If it hadn't have been a wire brush, perhaps it hadn't have done so much damage.
Yeah.
What else have we discovered on this walk?
So it is a beautiful, beautiful sunny morning on day 3 of the Hadrian's Wall walk. And how are you feeling, Dave?
Fine. Absolutely fine.
Got any feet issues?
No.
Not even a bit tender?
No. Feet are good. Shoulders, bit sore.
Knees and
The
toes?
rucksack.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Andy, how are you feeling, mate?
Absolutely fantastic.
That's good here. Good to hear. So any issues?
Got loads of issues. And sore feet.
Yeah, me too. I've got sore feet. But yeah,
I'll see you and I'll raise you too.
yeah. I think that's a gamble I'm going to lose. As Andy just said, then the pace will probably slow down somewhat today. We are 33 miles in. Another 16 to do today. 15 to do today. I hope they didn't hear that. Yeah, I've been lying all the way. Only 2k, we're nearly there. Yeah, it's we're going to be staying I think it's Green Shields or something like that, where the Twice Brewed pub is. Where there's only one pub along the way today, so there's only one pub stop, but there is a couple of snack huts like yesterday which came in absolutely fantastic. I think the people who put the snack sheds in are really good. They're really good. You need them just at the right time. Yeah, so a couple of museums. Well, there is definitely one museum on the way. It's actually part of the wall. You get the wall today, so you actually see a view left and right of you, and you know there's quite a lot of the wall to follow as well. So it's a bit more interesting today before we get to the centre. So tonight we will be pretty much halfway across the walk, so which is a really good feeling to be 50% in. But we've got to get there, yeah? So let's see what happens along the way, and hopefully we all get there. Well, we've arrived at our first first stay honesty shed. I think this is a really good one. I think this might be called Max, I'm not quite sure. But just literally 30 feet from the path. Everything's a quid. But I really like what they do here. I think it's really good for the walkers. And it's certainly nice and refreshing. Yeah.
Well, stocked last lollies.
Yeah. So for all those people, not that you watch this, but for all those of you who do that, thank you.
Is it Lime Monday? Today's Lime Monday.
Yes, it is Lime Monday.
Lime Monday.
Lime Monday. We have. This is our third day, and we are now sat in the Twice Brewed, which is over halfway.
Yeah, we're 47 miles in,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, and we have got halfway. Now, there was a couple of issues this morning for me, so I did deal with those, but I dealt with them my own way, as I do.
We've got over it now, though.
We've got over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can wipe his bum now.
It's just rude.
I knew it wasn't supposed to fit up there, but anyway, you kept saying it did. But so we're having our dinner, and we've tents and everything are all up, so we're good to go. It has been an extremely difficult day, probably the hardest one by far.
And the weather, it's been a hot day, hasn't it?
Really hot, yeah, but it has been extremely difficult. But I totally underestimated how bad that was going to be. So, but lesson learned, and we're here. We've achieved the aim.
Yeah.
We're still on the wall. We're still doing what we set out to do.
And we've managed to order the hottest thing on the menu,
Yeah.
as usual.
Which is really dumb.
Assist us tomorrow.
Yeah, that's really dumb, but we did it. Anyway, we'll have our dinner. Oh, and by the way,
Oh yeah? Back to the UK.
cheers all.
Cheers, man.
Cheers. This is Hadrian's Crawl continues. We're just starting, and we're just having our.
Yeah, Dave's obviously is
Dave's having his starter all on his own. That's Dave's.
reminder of Brian.
Yeah,
Mayonnaise tip.
yeah, just yours. That's just yours. That is just yours, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, Brian. What are they then?
Balls, mate.
Morning, Dave. Morning, Andrew. So here we are on our third morning. We've got the short leg to do today, which is up to green carts and our second stash. It was a comfortable night. The cows were quite noisy. Wagons were loud as they go past, but that's the way it is. This campsite windshield has been awesome, to be fair. There's a little kitchen that you can use, and the chap who owns the place makes you a brew if you want one. Yeah, I quite like this campsite. The showers are fantastic. I got no complaints for the money that you pay to come here. No complaints whatsoever. If I was to come and do this route again, I would definitely stay here again. Yeah, so good campsite. And the pub that we went to last night, which was Twice Brewed, was amazing. The food was fantastic. The selection of beers are out of this world. So if you're into your beers and you like good food, that is definitely the place to stop. Whether you can afford to stay there of an evening, I know that's up to you. But yeah, really, really good. Really enjoyed it. Feet-wise, we're all suffering a little bit. I know Andy's got some blisters. I've got 2 blisters, one on each foot now. Even despite taping up, it's just the way it is. We're gonna see if we can keep the Bergen today, because it's only 10 miles. I did do a Bergen drop yesterday and got them dropped off for me and Andy because of our feet, but I do have a problem with my right knee, hip. That side is giving me a bit of jip. Don't know what it is. Never had that before. Never ever had that before. But we'll see. We see how it goes. It's just getting going in the morning. Just getting your feet used to being on it, working hard again. But we've got a little bit of climb to do, not a lot. And once we get to the top of the ridge, it sort of level pegs it rest of the way, slightly undulating, not too bad. So, time to do admin, time to get everything squared away. Yeah. It's not easy. It's not easy, I'll say that. Well, that's it. That's the 2 stashes done. Now back to the video, back to Hadrian's Wall. Well, we are a bit foggied up at the moment, to be fair.
Yeah.
And we're all cooped up in Matt's little tent because it's been pouring down and we're soaked.
Hello.
And we're going to try our first
This is out of your amazing
second stash beer, and it's called
Midway.
Midway.
And we
we
are
called that.
over Midway. Yay!
Thank you very much, Math. You've gone to a lot of trouble as usual. I just don't understand why you've put 2 in of everything.
Yeah, I didn't think Andy would want one.
There you go. There you go, sir.
Thank mister.
Thanks, Matt.
Right, all together now.
Oh, hold on.
I don't even know what this tastes like.
Doesn't matter, it tastes like punk. Cheers, Matt.
Does it?
Yeah.
Cheers, everyone. It's actually quite nice, isn't it?
Not too shabby. Not
very
too
nice.
shabby. Goose Island.
Does it make you do this? Yes, it does.
You wish you could.
Fancy another beer, Dave?
I do.
Go on, help yourself, mate. What beer you got there?
Math Tea UK.
No way. Oh, hang on, let me get the focus. The focus is playing up on this.
It's blurry eyed like the owner.
Math, turn it to UK.
Math Tea UK. That's fantastic. International style lager.
How do you find it?
Home bargains, I think. Anyway, we did start having tuna and pasta,
Oh,
but Dave decided that he wanted noodles and hot spicy noodles put in with his. But it actually turned out quite nice.
It's just nice. They're not mega hot.
Yeah, that's a good shot. It actually turned out quite nice, so hats off to Dave for his ingenuity. My bland tuna and pasta got his ass kicked with a bit of flavour.
This brings on a thirst. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
It was far from bland. It was very nice.
Yeah.
Although David's is very nice as well.
Cheers, everyone.
Thank you, boys.
There's a reason everybody uses the luggage service to carry their gear backwards and forwards. And we've figured it out now. It took some time, didn't it? But we've figured out how it works better, the better way to do it. And I'll explain at some other point, probably at the end of this video, the best way to do this walk. Now, we set off to carry all our gear the entire way. And there's nothing wrong with that. And even with the lightest of gear that, some of us could afford, it still is a challenge. And not one of us has achieved it yet. So Andy and I this is our second day with a Bergen drop. And it's paid off, and
Yeah, I can walk.
yeah, we can actually walk. Now, we've got it already booked in tomorrow for it to be taken at 9 o'clock in the morning to our next destination, which is 17 mile away. But obviously with that comes caveats, and those are the sort of things I'll talk about later on. But overall, my feet are in bits. Andy's got your blisters. Yeah, despite every effort, good insoles that didn't work, tape, blister socks, anti-blister socks, you name it, tried it, but this time it just hasn't worked for Andy at all. Dave is blister free. He's like a little donkey at the moment, and I don't mean that in that sense. But Dave's coping with it very, very well. He's doing all right, but I am definitely struggling with my feet. I know Andy's got the blister problems. Physical wise, Andy's absolutely fine. It's just his feet. But me, I'm struggling in every effort, but we get there, and we've had plenty of time today to get ourselves sorted. And beauty of it was, it just pissed down as we got here, and now look at the sky. There's hardly a cloud in the sky, really.
Torrential, wasn't it?
Yeah, but we got a good soaking, and not ideal if you're backpacking because no admin space in your tent. But that's just the way it is. Overall, though, thoroughly enjoying it. It's been an amazing experience so far. We've got the longest day to do tomorrow, and then the final walk into Newcastle. But yeah, it's something I've always wanted to do, and it is fantastic. All the way through this video, you would have seen pictures on the way. It's not a thing when you're trying to get your head down and moving forward. It's difficult to stop and get videos out and start videoing because you're losing precious time at your end, and that you can't afford to do. Especially, 15 miles we've been doing on average, aren't we? So you just don't have time to get your camera, do a little piece of the camera, then move on again. It eats into your time, and you just don't have the time to do it. But there will be a full brief at the end of this vid. Don't skip to the end, there's still some funny stuff to come yet. Tonight we've got some unusual drinks at the bar, our bar that I brought. So we should have a look forward to trying those. Anyway, see you in a bit. We've just poured ourselves out it's blood, it's called blood. Something to do with the Vikings, nothing to do with the Romans. But I thought I liked the look of that. Let's give it a try anyhow. What is it, Dave? It's made in Lindisfarne, isn't it?
It's a fortified wine. It's a mead
and cherry wine.
Near drop be spilt. Mead and cherry. A mead and cherry wine.
Very good.
Have you done my review?
Smell cherry.
Quite sweet.
Very cherry.
Sherry aid. It tastes like sherry mixed with
Cherry.
Sherry aid.
It's not fizzy though.
It's not fizzy.
Flat sherry aid.
Sherry. Yeah.
It's nice.
Cherry. Without the fizz.
Flat cherry aid, yeah.
Right, okay.
I don't do drink reviews, do I?
No.
Not very well.
I'll save them to Math. But I'll drink it.
You look the part anyway though.
So,
when you do it.
there you go. That's what we've had. Blood. Little special treat for us all.
Blood the inhaler.
Another special treat
Another special treat.
provided by Mafty UK.
Yay! On a boat. Anyhow, what about Robin Hood?
What about it? There's nothing I can say on camera about Robin Hood.
David's got the giggles.
Not ever stay in the Robin Hood Hotel.
Not without your camera.
So, to finish our adventures this evening, we thought we'd just tie the night off with a G&T.
Small bottle of gin.
With some lime and nuts.
Oh,
And a swear jar.
So there we are. The light is starting to go now. If
you got
if you're wondering why everyone's laughing, it's just because I didn't press the record button.
We've done this 3 times now.
Unbelievable.
We pour a drink every time.
Yeah. So
Otherwise it looks unnatural.
the light is going. We're still having a couple of nippy sweeties just to see the rest of the day out. And then head torches on, early night, early start, 17 mile to go. Well, to the next bunkhouse. The bunkhouse itself is our own room.
No more camping.
Pub
have we
within
now?
700 miles. 700 metres.
700?
700 metres.
He's
Pub within
lied to us.
pub within 700 metres.
Estimation.
Yeah, it's been wrong on every coordinate.
Yeah, I'm normally pretty good at estimating distances, but because I did it off Google
Neither
Earth,
of those are you?
I've done nothing like that.
You're neither normal.
I think
or
we're all
pretty
in
good.
agreement
No.
with Karen now on distance and
Yeah,
measurements.
Karen, you were right all along.
It's a gin talking.
Some very
No,
small
it's not the gin talk. But I've still got a pint of it in here.
Yeah, he has too. Anyway.
Tommy to be.
Well, here we are, outskirts of Newcastle.
The eve before the last night.
18 miles done today. My feet are in bits. Dave, how are you?
I'm alright.
Yeah, Dave's alright. Andy?
Perfect.
Perfect, yeah. I'm not.
Me now.
I've got aches and pains. I'm not gonna lie.
So we're in the 3 tons at the moment. We've had dinner this evening, which is quite nice.
What bubble are we?
3 tons. Tons.
Who named that?
I don't know. But yeah, it's been a horrendous day. It's been a long walk.
It's been our longest walk.
Yeah, by far. By far. But there you go.
Good survived.
We have but bloody hard, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bloody hard. But one more 15 miles to do tomorrow.
Just a 15 snip, yeah.
A little bit of a tricky little 15, and then we're all good to go.
We've got to survive after he's snoring tonight.
Yeah.
And then we're up for the flight.
Anyway,
We've all picked breakfast, haven't we, Matt?
yeah, we have. There's a lot of football going on right now. Liverpool are getting their asses kicked, which Andy is well chuffed about right now. But
Like to see it.
so, what we'll do, we'll knock it on the head here because it is quite a busy little pub, and we will speak to you when we get back to our very stinky accommodation because we've made it stink.
Yeah. Socks in the
Damp tents.
It hums. But anyway, more about that later.
Are they not?
Let's have a look at your tootsies. Yeah, they're fine. Yeah, you've done really well. Let's have a look at yours, Andy.
Come on. Off. Andy, you've got bad feet.
So let's have a look at yours.
No, fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. It's from day one, though.
Right, that's the worst thing about it.
Still can't get out that little baby.
What are you laughing at?
Because he's pissed and being twat.
We're just laughing at poor Andy because his feet are in absolute bits. They're swollen up now. We've got 15 miles to do.
Yeah.
And all 13 of his toes are swollen.
Oh, the other man's pain. The other man's pain.
Just kill him out.
Okay.
Well, anyway, we'll leave it at that. Good laughs and chuckles tomorrow as we all start to walk in the morning.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
And any feet therapists in the area that we live in, then have a good case. Please.
So there you go. That is the Hadrian's Wall over and done with, and as you can see, there was absolutely zero footage of us at the end, which is a bit of a shame. It wasn't an anticlimax by far, but it was such an achievement. We all felt quite exhilarated, to be honest, but at the same time we were also exhausted. The last 5 miles was extremely difficult. We put the pace in, we wanted to get to the end, and we pushed it out a little bit too hard. I think anyway. But we got in time, gave us more time at the hotel, and as you will notice, there is no more footage. That was it. I could not be physically powered to get the camera out and take some more footage. I was just so glad to get it out of the way. Which leads me on to the top tips. If I was to do this again, what would I do differently? Well, 1, it's not a race. It makes no difference what you watch. All the videos that you will see, people will tell you they do it in 4 days, 5 days, 6 days. Do it in a time that suits you. Don't race. Don't listen to everybody who says a certain level of fitness should be able to do 15 mile a day. Yeah, you can, but you don't see anything. And that's the problem. The first 2 days of the walk, there's nothing there. There's hardly anything to see. It's a slog. The next 2 days of the walk, fantastic. Loads to see, but no time to do it because you're walking 15 miles a day. And then the last 2 days, again, nothing to see. Because unfortunately, it is what it is. No wall. Now, we took 6 days. I think we should have took 8. I think we should have had 8 days on that, and that would have been fantastic. Not easy for some people because the maximum they can get a week off, like I can. 7 days maybe. Yeah, add another day in. Enjoy the centre section. Take your time. Do 10 miles a day. Maybe push it. 15 maybe the first day. Maybe 15 the last day. But then in between that, take your time. Kit. Definitely use one of the luggage carrier systems. There's plenty of them. Just pick up the phone. You'll soon find them. There's no point me putting numbers down. I don't know whether they'll exist by the time you read this or not. But use the luggage carrier systems. Plan your week. Plan the distances you're going to walk. Give yourself time. Don't do what we did. Chucked it all on our back. Expect to do 15 miles a day. And you're not really enjoying it because you're hurting too much. And that wasn't just me. We met some really fit people on that route. There are some guys and lassies there who do this on a regular basis, and they definitely push themselves too fast. And they openly admitted to us that, do you know, we wish we had a day of rest. We wish we took a shorter day. We wish we'd done this. Everybody said the same thing. It's great to push yourself hard. It's great to push yourself to the end. And I know how that feels when you get in on the time that you allocated yourself. But if it's your holiday, make it your holiday and enjoy it. I really did enjoy this break. It was hard work. Yes, it bleeding well was. And I really did suffer halfway through with my feet. Balls of my feet were like walking on broken glass. I only ended up with 2 little blisters, but the balls of my feet were really sore. And that's because too much kit, too far a distance. If I did it again, I would use a courier service, carry a day pack with just my water, some waterproofs and maybe a butty in the bag every day. That's all I would carry. Take those tips on board. Plan your route carefully. Make sure you book all your luggage before you set off. Don't leave it to the lastminute.com. They can't always accommodate you. Once the wagon's full and you won't get your kit on. Plan your days, plan your times, book your meals. If you're going to say go to the Twice Brewed, book it. Make sure that they know you're coming. Don't book it too early. Book it for the later session. That way you know you'll get a seat. And until then, or until my next video, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as we enjoyed making it. There's a lot of it we couldn't show you, but I've already explained. Not enough time to film. Thanks again. See you next time. Bye bye.